middle. There's some forest heading up here. And there's the parking lot right over there. And behind me, that is where the water of Temescal Creek goes into the creek from underground. So that is a tunnel and the water is coming out. So that is where I am. And let me actually show you a map of where we are so you can know where this park is. So this will take me just a second and the screen is gonna go flip-floppy for a minute. So just a heads up, but I'll fix it, I promise. All right, so can we see the screen? It's still flip-floppy. Why won't it flip? Well, here, I'll try and zoom in here. Well, it's flip. I don't know why it's not flipping on its side, but you can turn your head and you can look and see. Oh, I don't know why it's acting up funny. Oh, there we go, perfect. So if you look right here, you can see we are at Temescal Regional Recreation Area, which is right in Oakland. So pretty close actually to the clinic as well. So we're really, really close to there. So this is a really special place that we are going to get to explore together. And we were just here a few months ago, and I know some of you were here with me. And when we were here, we were checking things out. Today is going to be a little bit different because in celebration of the coming Valentine's Day, we're going to be looking for things that we love and for different kinds of hearts while we're walking around. So we're going to actually start today by reading a book. And this book, oh, hi, Camila. Nice to see you. We're going to read a book called Everything Has a Heart. And this will help us think about different things that have a heart. I want everyone to find your heart right now. Maybe you can feel it beating. We're going to talk a little bit more about human hearts a little bit later. But you can see we have a heart, but we're not the only things that have hearts in nature. So let's read a little bit about all the different things that have hearts. And let me back you up a little bit. Everything Has a Heart by Sally Huss. Have you noticed that everything has a heart? Those who notice are very smart. Cats have hearts. Does anybody here have a cat? Give a thumbs up if you've got a cat. Does anybody have one? Dogs have hearts underneath their fur. If you've got a dog, put your hand on your head. Mice and rats have hearts. Little teeny tiny hearts. Can you imagine how small a teeny tiny mouse heart would be? Show me how big you think it might be. Like super itty bitty. Yeah. Just as butterflies and bats have hearts. They carry them wherever they dart. Everyone flap your wings like a butterfly or a bat. All right, let's see who else has a heart. An apple has a heart in the seedy part. Everyone pretend to take a big bite of an apple. Yep, it's harder for me to pretend with my mask. And there are more apple hearts inside an apple tart. So sometimes we call the inside of fruit the heart of a fruit. Does anybody recognize this food? It's an artichoke. This is an artichoke. Artichoke has a heart. That's the tasty part. Lettuce has a heart. It's the middle part. Has anyone here had lettuce before? Maybe in a salad? If you've had that, rub your belly. Yeah, they've got hearts too. Remember, there are delicious tarts with hearts made of cherries. And there's nothing hidden about the hearts of strawberries. So you can see strawberries kind of look like hearts. People hardly notice, but trees have hearts. And we're actually going to see the heart of a tree today. And sometimes even their leaves are shaped like hearts. So we'll look for that too. A look when full of kindness has a heart. Can everyone show me a face that is a kind face? Maybe a smile. Can everyone show me a big smile? Oh, I love seeing those smiles. Excellent. Just as a book that is about kindness has a heart. And sometimes even reading a book is full of heart. Every plan, big or small, has a heart, as well as every human, big or small, has a heart. Of course, every child has a heart. We know that. We just checked. We just checked and made sure we had a heart. Everyone check and make sure your heart's still there. Thumbs up if your heart's still pumping. Good. Just as every baby has a heart. They have them from the very start. There is even a day for hearts called, what day is that? The day for hearts is called Valentine's Day. It's the day we give cards with hearts away. Yes, there is just no end to finding hearts once you start. All it takes is love from your heart to find another's heart. And when you do, you just might find that they love you too. All right, my friends, do you think we're ready to go find some hearts out in nature? All right. So one thing that I'm going to ask is, I'm noticing there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. If we can help me out by making sure we're only writing comments like questions in the chat or observations, because when we're saying hi, I know you're saying hi and I appreciate that, but it's hard for me to see the questions when there's so much other stuff going on. All right. Thank you, my friends. All right. So what we're going to do in just a moment is I'm going to stand up and start walking around, but let me put my stuff in my bag. And we're going to start to explore and look for some different hearts all around. So let me stand on up. You can get one last view of the creek behind me. And I'm going to have you look at me as I walk. I'm going to keep actually, let me show you my feet so you can see. I'm like walking right through the creek here. Ooh, and you can see, we checked this out before. Does anybody remember what we call this stuff? Or maybe, how do you think it feels? If you were to imagine how this feels, what do you think it would feel like? Yeah, we've got some moss and it's gotten wet. Yeah, it's really soft. So find something around you that feels soft. Yeah, it's definitely squishy for sure. Ooh, I see Alana's touching her blanket, or her, looks like a blanket or maybe a jacket. Yeah, so that is soft. You can see the ripples in the water. All right, I'm gonna start to walk. Here's hoping I don't fall in any water. And if you see something that's shaped like a heart, let me know. Oop, I think I see kind of, it's almost like a heart, a little bit. If you took like that part, oh, there was just a moth that flew away, and when it was landed, it did kind of look like a heart. You can see, kind of looks a little bit like a heart. I bet we can do even better though. All right, let's see, what else can we find? I'm gonna try not to fall. And as we're walking around, we're gonna find stuff that doesn't look like hearts too. We'll explore and check out other things. So like I said, this is Temescal Creek, and it flows underground, and then it comes up above ground here. and it's going to flow to the lake. And we're going to make our way, hopefully, to the lake to see some different animals there. And we've got some flowers that we'll hopefully see as well. So the creek, what kinds of animals do we think might live in this creek and might call this place home? Some of you might know from being here before. What kind of animals do we think might call? Yeah, frogs would definitely want to live in here. Totally, Camila. What else do we think might want to live in here? There might be fish that live in here. There are otters that like to travel through here as well. Dragonflies. Yeah, exactly, Camila. Yeah, there are definitely dragonflies that live here. All sorts of different stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is actually, we're going to, ooh, ladybugs. There could definitely be ladybugs around here. Ducks. Yeah, hopefully we'll find some ducks. So let me show you, if you were to come to this park, this is one of the parking lots you can park at. This is James. Everyone wave to James. James is another naturalist who's hanging out with us today. He's making sure people don't wonder what I'm doing with the cell phone in the park. All right, so let's see. Oh, I think I found another one that could be. What do we think? Heart shape? It's a pretty good one. Pretty good. And we've got a tree. Now, do you remember we said a tree has a heart? Where do you think the tree's heart is? Where do you think the tree's heart might be? Think about where your heart is. Where is your heart? Is it on the inside or the outside? What do you think? The heart on the inside or in the leaves? the leaves kind of like give the carbon dioxide to help the heartwood grow and to be there. Yeah, and it is on the inside. And in fact, I want to show you the heartwood of a tree. We can't usually see the heartwood because it's on the inside and it's all protected by the bark. So normally, when we look at a tree, you see the bark and it's all protected by the bark. But there's actually a bench right here and some logs that have got the heartwood. So let me actually get, this is half of a log. It's sliced right in half, and the heartwood is all of this stuff on the inside. And you want to know something crazy? The heartwood in a tree, it's dead. The heart of a tree isn't even alive. It's totally dead. And it's the big, thank you for that exclamation point. Yeah, so it's actually the strong part. Does it beat? The heart of a tree doesn't beat in the way that ours does. And in fact, it's just strong and it's holding the tree up. So without the heartwood, if the heartwood were to burn actually in a redwood tree, if the heartwood burns, the tree can still survive. So the whole middle of the tree could burn up and the tree survives. So let me actually show you. Here you can see, oh, let me flip it around. Yeah, trees are super strong. So you can see right here, there in the middle, all of this is the heartwood, and just the edge parts would be the alive parts. This whole tree is actually dead. And there's something here that's been eating away at this tree, and we've seen these things before. Does anybody recognize who made these tracks? Who made these little tracks? This is where they laid their eggs, and then all of this animal all went. Ooh, ants is a really good, I like that idea. That's a really good idea. Not the ants, it's actually, termites is another really good idea. These are actually from bark beetles. Yeah, oh, good job, Dr. Nooshin. Yeah, these are from bark beetles. If you went on the campfire program at Anthony Chabot, we saw these on the logs there. And we also saw them when we went on our virtual field trip to Point Pinole. on some eucalyptus. So all the eggs are laid here and then they hatch and you move out. Oh, I just found a really good heart. Let me show you. Look at, whoop, here we go. Look at these ones. Each of those little sections is a heart. Let me set it. Let me grab one and get it nice and close. They are, yeah, it's a kind of sorrel or clover, sometimes it's called. And each section looks like a little heart. And there are 3 hearts. And sometimes people like to eat these. I tell people not to eat things right on the side of the trail here because there's a lot of dogs that hang out. And you never know what they do. All right, my friends. So we're gonna go ahead. Ooh, and I actually see, when we think about Valentine's Day, sometimes we think about giving our friends or our family, giving them flowers. And there are some beautiful spring wildflowers, actually not quite wildflowers, but there are some beautiful spring flowers right over here. And I'm gonna try not to fall in the water. You can see I'm right by the water here. I'm gonna get up close. You can see. My guess, probably a wild plum. Yeah, they are really pretty. And these actually, when I was here a week ago, these were not blooming. So these just started blooming. Here, let me get you some good ones right over here. And who do you think would come and visit these flowers? Who might come here to get the nectar? Yeah, a bee might come here. Exactly. Now, how many petals do we see on the flower? How many petals do we have? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And there's pollen at the end there. So really beautiful flowers. All right. So we're going to keep walking. We're going to try and make our way over to the lake, because at the lake, there are some really incredible birds that call the lake home. And there's some visiting birds as well that are here. So we're going to check that out as well. And also, Naturalist James, if you see anything that's heart-shaped, feel free to let me know. All right. So, ooh, let me flip around. There's some more evidence of the coming spring. Get up nice and close. We've got some new growth. Some brand new leaves that look like they've just been coming out. Has anybody here grown recently and gotten taller? Has anyone here gotten taller? Oh, I see a couple of you, yeah. So these plants like to grow in the spring after they get a lot of rain. Ooh, there's a really cool flower. Another flower. This one I like because it looks like little pom-poms. So what color are we finding here? Yeah, so this is a plant that originally came from Australia, and this is called acacia. And this, if you get allergies, this is something that might give you allergies. Might make you sneeze a little bit. Just starting to bloom. All this stuff just started recently. All right, we're gonna see what else along this way. So as we're walking, I want you to think, so we have found a couple things that are shaped like hearts in nature. And do you think, thumbs up or thumbs down, do you think our heart is the same size as the heart of, you should know this from our story time, but do you think our hearts are the same size as a cat's heart? Thumbs up if you think our hearts are the same size. Thumbs down if you think they're a different size. Yeah, they're a different size. Yeah. So we're actually going to learn a little bit about some heart sizes in just a minute, and we're going to move around. But you can see right here, we've got a whole area where there's a bunch of water, and we're about to see a little bit of a waterfall. as well. Ooh, some more flowers. These are they're kind of like, if you were to smell these, kind of like crush them in your fingers. I'm gonna smush them and then smell. And even through my fingers, it can smell. It smells like a little bit garlicky or oniony, actually. Let me show you again a little bit closer. Yeah, and it'd have to be kind of a smaller bee to fit inside of there. Ooh, I see another leaf. This one, I think this one looks like it's kind of shaped like a heart. Can everyone show me a heart? Yeah, that one's pretty good, huh? Haven't found a rock shaped like a heart yet. I looked around when I was in the creek, but no luck today. All right, so let's see, we're coming around and we've got check it out, a waterfall. Everyone reach your hands up really high up into the air, and then make that water go whoosh down, whoosh, whoosh. Nice, excellent, excellent waterfalls, my friend. So this is still that same creek that I was standing in or sitting in before, and it's gonna keep going, and we're almost to the lake. So we're gonna get up to the lake, and when we get there, we're gonna see, looks like a lot of our bird friends are a little bit far away. We're gonna see what we can find, and I'll show you a picture of one of the birds that we have. So there's some big redwoods hanging out here, and here we're approaching the lake, and the lake has lots of birds and different creatures that live at it, and some of them are coming here for food and to be safe and to rest, and a lot of the same reasons that we come to these places. All right, so I see some geese. Let's see. I'm gonna get as close as I can to these birds without scaring them because I don't want to scare them. So we're not gonna get too much closer, but you can see we've got some Canada geese hanging out here. And what do you think they're doing here? Why do you think they're up here on the grass? I'll give you a little hint. Their beaks are really, really, have got a lot of green on them right now. They've been eating the soggy grass. Oh, this one might eat right now. Yep, there you can see. Yeah, they're totally eating. Now, there are some other birds that were farther across the lake. We can't see them right now because they swam to the other side, but there are some really big birds that are visiting here right now, and they've been here for a little bit, and they are called the white pelican. So if you come to this park, they've been here for a little bit of time. This bird has been hanging out here. And everyone reach your arms out as wide as you can. Reach your arms out as wide as you can. Stretch them out. Hold up, let me flip it around. So stretch those arms out as wide as you can. And I want you to imagine that if you were to stretch your arms out as wide as you can, and then there was like another one of you stretching out, that's how wide their wings can be. They have super, super wide wings, as wide as almost 2 of your wingspans. That's like so gigantic. They have super, super big wingspans. So my friends, we're gonna do, since I have this flipped around, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stand up, we're gonna pretend to be some different animals, and we're gonna learn a few things about hearts of different animals. So I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna say something like, the heart of this animal is as big as a small car. And I want you, if you think that it is a whale, I want you to go And if you think that it is an elephant, I want you to wag your trunk. So this animal has a heart as big as a car. So elephant or whale? What do we think? It's a whale. If you guessed whale, give a thumbs up. It is a whale. All right. This next one. This animal has 3 hearts. 3 hearts. Do you think it is a crab or an octopus? Crab or octopus? It's an octopus. Excellent. I like all the wiggling. All right. So this animal has the biggest heart for its size. Is it a dog or is it a cat? Is it a dog or a cat? Who has the biggest heart compared to its size? It's a dog. A dog has the biggest heart for its size, which I think makes sense because dogs are so sweet. Okay, the next question is, what animal's heart slows down more than half the amount on a long dive? Is it a whale or something that we sometimes call a sea cow or a manatee? A manatee, those are those big things. It kind of looks like a cow in the water. So is it a whale? Or let's say, what should a manatee be? They kind of float in the water. Whose heart slows down? It's a manatee. It's a manatee. All right. Next up, let's see. Ooh, this one. What animal needs a super strong heart to pump blood up to its head? Do you think that animal is a great blue heron or a giraffe? Is it a great blue heron or a giraffe? Who do you think? If you said giraffe, you are right. Now, which animal, let's see, we'll do one more. Which animal has a heart that beats super, 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 super fast? In fact, 21 times per second. 21 times per second. So think about that. 1,000. That's 1 second. 21 times. Is that a hummingbird? Or do you think it is a turtle? Hummingbird or turtle? Oh, I see lots of flapping of wings. You're right, it is a hummingbird. So there are some incredible, incredible things about our hearts. And what I'm going to do before we wrap up and sing some songs is I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Nooshin, who's going to share a little bit maybe more about the human heart and keeping your heart healthy in the outdoors. And then we're going to wrap up with some songs. Oh, let's see. Let me see what I can do.
I got it. Hi,
Oh,
guys.
perfect.
Thank you so much, Morgan. That was so fun. Thank you, everyone. So I wanted to talk a little bit about hearts. And I think Morgan started us in looking for our own heart. So everybody put your hand where you think your heart is. And what the heart does is actually help us move blood everywhere in our body. So you can feel it in other places. And I want to teach you a few places. Does anybody know one other place that you can feel your heart? Oh, I see neck. And there's one that's really easy for me. Can you bring up your wrist and put your fingers on this side? I don't know the normal term, by your thumb. And just take a moment. Does anybody feel a pulse? Like a little bumping? Not here where there's a bone, right before the bone. If you put your hand there, who feels it? Nobody yet? Savannah? Lana? Camila? Dr. M? You felt it? Let's see. Let's see if here is easier. Put your hands right here on just one side and see if you feel a little bump. You're gonna have to like really be quiet and just maybe even close your eyes. It's really mild. It just feels like a boom, boom. Anybody feel it? Yeah? What about Jason, Camila? So a really cool thing is that sometimes when you're like your emotions are different, your heart might go up or down if you're sad or excited or scared. And you can actually control how fast your heart is beating. And so we're going to do an exercise, all of us together right now, to control our heartbeat. And I'm going to ask you to breathe, because one of the amazing things is how we breathe can actually have control over how fast our heart is beating. Isn't that cool? You can actually control your heart through how you breathe. And so what I'd like you each to do, you definitely don't need to be sitting down, but just be somewhere super comfortable. I don't like sitting, so I have to be standing in order to be comfortable. So I'm just gonna stand here. That's Kia, my son. And I'm gonna take a super deep breath. I want you to each take a super deep breath and then just listen to the sound of your breath coming in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then deep breath out. Now this time, when we breathe in, take it in. I want you to send loving kindness to someone in your life on the way out. Ready? We're going to do it again in. Now send loving kindness to someone that you had trouble with recently. Someone that you had trouble with. Send them loving kindness. Ready? That's going to grow your heart. Take another deep breath in. This time, send loving kindness to all the plants and animals everywhere. Deep breath in. Loving kindness to your neighbors, to your city. Deep breath in. You guys, how big is your heart? This one's really, we're gonna have to send a lot of kindness. Ready? Get ready. Deep breath in, in. Okay, kindness to the whole world. Ready? Now you guys you can each do that at night or during the day, whenever you like. And then you can feel your heart rate and see if you don't want it to go like all the way down, but after you get to know yourself, you just feel what's your normal heart rate and see if that helps you. And I know that Morgan, I'm sure you wanted me to talk about going outdoors, which is super important for all of your hearts. And in addition to Shine, who's actually going into the real outdoors? Is anyone going today? Each of us try to get outside into the actual real outside one time a day, okay? Can we make a heart for actually being in the real outdoors? And the adults in your life, we're gonna try to support you because you have a right to be outdoors. All right. Thank you each, and have a beautiful week after. I'll pass it to Morgan though. Wait, Morgan, I'm gonna try to pass the heart to you like this. Can you get it?
I
Okay.
got it.
All right, all right.
All right. So my friends, we have time for a few songs, and we're going to sing some old classics that we've sung before, and then some that we've just sang recently. And we're going to start off with one we haven't sung in a really long time together. And I wanted to sing this one together because it's all about habitat. And home is another word sometimes for a habitat. And home is where a lot of us are right now. And there's love often at home. And so we're sending love into your home or your habitat. So we're going to sing a song called Habitat. And we're going to keep ourselves on mute. So we're just going to have to trust each other that we're singing. But remember, a habitat has a couple of different things in order to help us survive. What are some different things that a habitat has in order to help us survive? What do you think? What's something a habitat needs in order to help us survive? We've all got to have some water. Everyone make some water. And we've also got to have some food. And thanks for the encouragement, Camila. Some food. And we also all need to have some kind of shelter. And those different things make a habitat. So a habitat could be like a city, or a habitat could be an ocean or a forest. Everyone think of a habitat right now. And I want you to whisper into your hands that habitat. And then I want you to bring it up to the screen and let it go so I can hear it. So many different habitats. Yeah. So this song is all about habitat. So I'm going to teach it to you. And there's some clapping that goes along with it. And you'll be able to keep that clapping for the song as well. A zoo has lots of different kinds of habitats. Yeah, you can type in different habitats you're thinking of. So the way the chorus of this goes, it goes, habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. All right, ready? Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. And then we sing that 2 more times. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. And then it switches to, you have to have a habitat to carry on. All together, you have to have a habitat to carry on. All right, perfect. So my friends, you can keep that clapping going while I sing different verses about different habitats. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. You have to have a habitat to carry on. All right, what habitat does a shark and a jellyfish and a sea turtle and a whale and an octopus live? They all live in the ocean. The ocean is a habitat, a very special habitat. It's where the deepest water's at. It's where the biggest mammals at. It's where our future food is at. Keeps the atmosphere intact. The ocean is a habitat that we depend on. All right, all together. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. You have to have a habitat to carry on. All right, where's the deer, the raccoon, the banana slug, the salamander, the fox, the mountain lion? Did I say deer? I think I said deer. Where might they hang out? They're hanging out in the, oh, maybe an owl. They hang out in the forest. The forest is a habitat, a very special habitat. It's where the tallest trees are at. It's where a bear can scratch its back. It keeps the ground from falling back. Lose the oxygen. In fact, the forest is a habitat that we depend on. All right, all together. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. You have to have a habitat to carry on. All right, this next habitat is one, we just were next to one of these. It flows downhill. It has otters in it. It has fish in it. It has frogs in it. It has newts in it. Raccoons might visit it. It's a river. The river is a habitat, a very special habitat. It's where the freshest water's at for people, fish, and dusky-wood rats. But when the people dump their trash, the river takes the biggest rap. The river is a habitat that we depend on. All together. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. You have to have a habitat to carry on. People are different than foxes and rabbits. Affect the whole world with all their habits. It's better to love it while we still have it. A rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat, our habitat's gone. All together last time. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. You have to have a habitat to carry on. Give yourself a hand. The dance moves on that were like, they were on point. That was really super phenomenal. Thank you for such amazing, amazing dance moves. So my friend, the next song that we are gonna sing, I sang this one last time. I sang this one last time, but I wanted to sing it again because this one is kind of a song about how sometimes does nature make you a good dancer? I think it does make you a good dancer. I think it does. So this next song is going to be another one that's about home. And we sang this one last time, and it's a pretty simple song, and it is called Safe at Home. And I like this one because it's all about animals being safe in their home. And a lot of us have been in our homes a lot lately in order to stay safe. And we can also explore around us because our home is out in nature as well. So this song is one where the biggest thing you can do to kind of catch on to it is at the end of like each group of lines, it goes, and all the baby animals safe at home. Let's try that together. And all the baby animals safe at home. And this one's kind of more like you can pretend you're rocking a baby or something. And you might catch on to the different parts and listen to the different animals. And as you hear the numbers, you can hold up the numbers as well. One baby otter in the cradle of the sea. Two baby owls in the hollow of a tree. Three baby fawn in the forest where they've grown. And all the baby animals safe at home. Let's sing that line together. And all the baby animals safe at home. Four baby bears coming home to rest. Five baby mice are sleeping in their nest. Six baby chicks to the coop they have gone. All the baby animals safe at home. All together. And all the baby animals safe at home. Seven baby pigs all snuggled in their pen. Eight baby fox are lying in their den. Nine baby geese back to the weeds have flown. And all the baby animals safe at home. All together. And all the baby animals safe at home. One cradle rocking in the warm firelight. One child sleeping peaceful in the night. Nine baby geese back to the weeds have flown. I messed that line up because I got distracted from Dr. Nooshin's dancing. All right, let me start that line over. Dr. Nooshin's like, you need to still be rocking some songs. All right, let me try that again. One cradle rocking by the warm firelight. One child sleeping peaceful in the night. Love is the reason you'll never feel alone. Like all the baby animals safe at home. All together. Like all the baby animals safe at home. One baby otter in the cradle of the sea. Two baby owls in the hollow of a tree. Three baby fawn in the forest where they've grown. All the baby animals safe at home. All the baby animals safe at home. All together. All the baby animals safe at home. All right. I should have chosen a jazzier song. Apparently you all were ready to bust and move. All right. So my friends, we are nearing the very end of our time together. And I want to thank you all so much for joining us together. I love this time together each month. And we are looking forward to seeing you all again next month. We'll get you updated on what is going to be happening, but we will be in the Redwoods next month. So we'll keep you updated on that. Yet we'll be in one of my favorite places. And we are going to explore and have tons of fun. But my challenge to you is in the next month, before I see you again, to go and find something that you love outdoors and to also Make sure that you love yourself and your own heart. It's been wonderful to spend today with you, and I'm going to make sure that we get Dr. Razani unmuted so she can wrap us up. So one moment.
Morgan, you are just so talented, and you know nature and music, and we appreciate you. Guys, can we give a big heart to Morgan for being part of our families for so long? Thank you, Morgan, really. Okay. I also want to give a big shout out to Dr. Jen, who watched me do mindfulness, and she's a mindfulness expert. So I should have turned it over, I realize now, but thank you for watching that. You guys, thank you for being together in community. To all the parents, you guys are rock stars, really. Valerie, I'm talking to you. I don't see the other parents, but you too. And Camila's mommy too. I hope that you can each get outdoors at least an hour a day outside of your wherever you're living. And take care of yourselves and the ones you love. And we will see you next month.